Amy went through, she did a full redesign for us, and we have our registration plans open. So registration is still open. Please go out there, register for, gaining portal access, which we share a lot of information within our portal access to our directory. And then our summit this year, which is going to be August 6th, 7th. August 7th is a full day event for our summit. It's going to be held at the Doubletree Hilton, Philadelphia Center City in Pennsylvania. That evening of the 6th, we have a Taste of Philly evening. Again, this year, lodging is not included with your annual registration fee or the summit fee, but if you are going to book and stay the night, either Thursday night or Friday night, our Book Pass link is provided there, and we'll go ahead and put that in chat for you. So please take advantage of the reduced lodging fee with that. Here's our schedule for the summit on August 7th. Again, you can see it is a very big lot that we're throwing into a single day with 7 o'clock the night before is our Taste of Philly welcome reception. We go right into our opening ceremonies in the morning and breakfast, and we roll through the entire day. Something new this year, what we're doing is our TOC Sparks. So it's going to be kind of like a TEDx type thing where we have 3 speakers run through 10 minutes on stage, nothing but themselves and a mic, to provide 10-minute talking session of a learning spark to our community. Any questions on everything I covered so far in a span of 2 minutes? And as I look through, I see people joining us from Illinois, Georgia. I think I saw St. Paul, Minnesota out there too, Texas. I think between Minnesota and Texas. No, California is the furthest away so far. Awesome. I love seeing you guys joining and letting me know where you guys are coming from. I love our reach. So I don't see any additional questions in the chat. And what we have on the horizon, we have our L&D showcase in about 2 weeks. HUD is going to come back and pretty much tell us how they strengthen their leadership succession and executive readiness through their new SCS readiness program. Robin Talmadge will be coming to us and discussing that and showcasing how they do that within their own agency and how we can possibly leverage that within our own agencies. Following that is the Next Growth Guild, Creative and Critical Thinking for Organizational Transformation with Michael Binder. He's going to come and provide a lot of activities during that, kind of like brain thinking for us during that session. And last but not least, and upcoming today, we have Nancy Singer and Kelly Gerstenberg here today to go over Command and Communicate techniques to inspire and influence in the federal spaces. And with that, I hand it over to Kelly and Nancy.
Thank you, Joy. Can you stop sharing?
Yes, I can.
Fantastic. So hello, everybody, and welcome to Command and Communicate. I am Kelly Gerstenberg, and I am joined by Nancy, and we are going to spend the next hour with you exploring how to handle high-pressure communication moments and project credibility and organize responses on the spot with confidence. Nancy, would you like to introduce yourself?
I would love to. I've been around for a long time. I started my career as a prosecutor for the Department of Justice, and then I went to FDA, and I represented people. I represented that agency. My last job was to be special counsel for AdvaMed, which was the Medical Device Trade Association, and I got to meet the CEOs of all the major medical device companies. I also got to watch their practices in board meetings, and I took careful notes, and then I began incorporating them and teach them others. Right now, I'm an associate professor at USC and UCI, and I teach the master's and doctoral students soft skills so they can be more effective in their organization. Kelly, now it's your turn.
So again, my name is Kelly Gerstenberg, and I am a former training officer. I was with the EPA OIG and then also at HUD, and have since moved into association management. And before we get started, we would like to see what you already know. So we are going to do a pre-test in Mentimeter. And I have put the link in the chat. And to join, you can either click that link or you can scan the QR code on the screen and enter the code with your browser.
Now, Kelly, I want to make sure nobody's name is associated with this. So this is a test. We're just finding out people's knowledge. Is that correct?
That is correct. So this is completely anonymous. This is just so that we can do a pre-test and a post-test. And we'll give it just another minute before we'll move on. And actually, when you're done, go ahead and put like a thumbs up or put done in the chat, and that way we know that we're ready to move on.
Wow, I see all these great thumbs. Thank you all for participating. That's awesome. Okay, so most of you have finished the pretest, which is great. So now I'm going to tell you what we're going to walk away with today. You're going to learn how stress actually hijacks communication. And then we're going to tell you how to stay grounded in that very moment when you're very nervous. We're going to teach you how to apply a structured framework so you can get your thoughts across clearly, evenly, even when you're on the spot. And we hope to strengthen how you project confidence, because how you project confidence that's how people will see you and it will help you in your career.
And these situations are things that we all face. You get asked a question with eyes on you. You have to explain a delay or defend a decision or clarify a complex topic. And you have to sound credible while managing your own stress response. And so this is the core issue that we are going to tackle today.
Now, Kelly, we're going to give everybody tips. And so I've learned a lot of tips from you and I've practiced them. Do you think everybody will get something out of this and they'll be able to be cooler under pressure after they finish?
Absolutely. So the goal is everybody's going to walk away with plenty of strategies that they can use immediately.
Okay, so now we're going to talk a little bit about panic, response of the body. So when you're under pressure, your body reacts before your brain catches up. What happens is your thoughts scatter, your breath shortens, you freeze, or worse, you ramble. I hear many people rambling a lot. Now, that's not your fault. It's not weakness. It's really biology. We're just all made that way.
And sorry, I have to unmute. I think the feedback is coming from my device, and so I have to unmute before I speak. Okay, so what is happening is this is called an amygdala hijack. So your brain is very complex, but to simplify, we can say that we have a rational brain and an emotional brain. And that emotional brain is ruled by the amygdala. And the rational parts of your brain are the logical thinking parts. And to get an idea of how quickly the amygdala can take over, think about when you get jump scared. When somebody jumps out from behind something to, just to make you scream. And it takes you a few minutes to gather yourself or for your rational brain to reassure you that, oh, you're not actually in danger. So anytime the brain detects a threat, the amygdala jumps in and it hijacks, and then your thinking brain gets sidelined. And that is why you cannot access the clever responses that you practiced. But if you can get 6 seconds, just 6, then you can reset and use your rational brain.
No, I like hard numbers, Kelly. Don't go away. I like hard numbers, and I like the idea that it's 6 seconds. So we can all have faith that if we count to 6 or we think to think, we'll be able to take our rational brain. Is that correct? Am I hearing that right?
That is correct.
Okay, great. Okay. Now, what I want everybody to do is think back to your own experience. You were probably calm one moment and overwhelmed the next. And recognizing that shift is the key. So what I'd like everybody to do is take 30 seconds and to reflect on a time Well, you felt panic in a professional setting. Then in chat, write how it felt and how you reacted. And now I get to put Kelly on the spot. And Kelly, tell us when you experienced panic and what happened.
Okay, so I feel panic in professional settings all the time, but I know all of the grounding tricks that we're going to show you, so I'm usually coming prepared. But just because I know about it, I'm a trained counselor. I forgot to mention that. I'm a former counselor. So just because you know that this is happening, it doesn't mean that it's not going to happen to you, because amygdala hijack is physiological. This is something that you can't control. It is an automatic reflex that your brain does without asking your permission. So Nancy, how about you? Has this ever happened to you?
Absolutely. I remember as I said, I was special counsel to the trade association where I went to the board meeting with all these CEOs. And I was giving a report. And it wasn't really a very interesting topic about medical devices. And I thought everybody's eyes glazed over and they weren't listening. But I mispronounced the name of a component. I just got nervous and I mispronounced it. And every single person jumped up and corrected me, which could have been embarrassing. But instead I said, "Oh, I thought you guys weren't listening. Thank you. I have your rapt attention. You've really made my day and you've taught me something." Everybody laughed and it just went on. So I always kept that in my hip pocket to be able to bring out when I make a mistake, and it gets me through it and nobody really notices the difference. So Kelly, what are we seeing in chat?
We're not seeing really anything in chat. Nobody's playing right now.
So can we get someone to play? Someone to play? Okay.
Joy froze in panic, so that's why she didn't play.
Okay. Let's just wait 2 more. Okay.
Oh, okay. We have a comment. Briefing our leadership. I know my field, but when they ask me a question, I know too much and I ramble and provide them too much information, and I need to better hear what they're asking at a leadership level. So Deborah, we are going to give you a strategy for that. So hang tight. Okay, so we are going to show you some grounding techniques first that will interrupt that stress cycle. And these are fast and discreet and effective, and we are going to go through them one by one.
Okay. So the first one is box breathing. And there are many types of breathing techniques that will work, but we want to show you ours, which is box breathing. And this technique calms your nervous system. The reason that it's called box breathing, it helps you remember that there are 4 components to them. And I'm going to say them out loud, and then I'm going to ask us all to try them together and see if you feel differently. So the first thing is you're going to inhale, and we're going to count to 4. Then you're going to hold it, count to 4. Then we're going to exhale and count to 4. And then you're going to pause and count to 4. Now I want 100% participation, okay? So I'll say inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to do it twice. And then you're going to tell us how you felt.
Well, and actually, can I jump in real quick and tell you something?
Please.
So the goal is not to just like breathe very shallowly. The goal of this is to activate your vagus nerve. So this is a nerve that runs from your brainstem down through your lungs to your digestive system. And we want to breathe in a way that we're expanding our diaphragm, because we're really activating that vagus nerve that will calm us down here, which will then send the signal to our brain. So that's the ultimate goal. Okay, continue.
And thank you for telling us the goal. You know, what I have learned in life is that you explain the reason why people are more apt to do it. So now I've asked you to do it, and Kelly has given you a concrete reason, so there's no excuse. So here we go. Everybody play with me. Ready? Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. 1, 2, 3, 4. Kelly, how do you feel?
I feel so relaxed.
Okay, let's hope everyone else is relaxed too.
Okay, so the next thing we want to show you is how words matter. And these are especially the ones that you say to yourself. Because when you panic and you are put on the spot, your automatic response might be to think, oh crap, they're looking at me, what do I say? And that doesn't help you because you are telling yourself you can't do something. And this is a little bit like fake it till you make it. So you want to replace the I'm freezing, I can't do this self-talk with something more positive. I got this. You can say it loud, you can say it silently. Either way, it works. So looking at the slide, there are a few examples of things that you could say. And so I want you to look at the chat or put in the chat the one that you're most likely to say. So we've got A, I can handle this. B, focus on one step at a time. Or C, breathe first, then speak. So which one would you be most likely to say? And we've got got a lot of activity in the chat right now. I see we have a big mixture. I see C, B, A, B, C, B. So Nancy, which one would you be most likely to say?
I like to say I can handle this. This is like me being a cheerleader for myself, and it really peps me up. What about you, Kelly?
I would be more of a breathe, because usually when I'm panicked, I'll just sort of freeze. And so I need to remind myself, okay, breathe. And then that's going to calm my amygdala at the same time that I'm giving myself the positive self-talk.
Great.
Okay, thank you everyone for participating in the chat. We appreciate that. Okay, so another thing you can do while you're waiting for your amygdala to calm down and to buy yourself some time is by using an anchoring statement. And so this has the added bonus of making you seem thoughtful. So again, the goal is to shift your brain out of panic and into purpose. So for example, you're in a meeting and they turn to you and say, what are your thoughts on the KPIs? Now, you have a few options of things that you could say. So I want you to, again, add this to the chat, which one you would be most likely to use. But we've got A. I want to make sure I understand. Can you say more about? Or you could say, oh, so the core issue is, and then you would sort of summarize what you've heard. Or C, if you haven't been paying attention, you would say, oh, before I weigh in, I would like to know if anyone else has some thoughts on this. Okay, so we've got a lot of activity in the chat. I love it. Nancy, which one would you most likely choose?
Actually, Kelly, I learned all three of these from you, I have to be honest. And I've tried all three of them. My favorite, though, is I want to make sure I understand. Can you say more about, because I think that kind of flatters my speaker. And I've gotten really positive response from the speaker because it gives them a bigger opportunity to talk. How about you? Which one do you use?
So I would be most likely to say C. I would love to hear somebody else's thoughts on this or I would say, oh, I don't want to hijack the conversation because I'm probably not paying attention if I'm panicking and then going, oh no. And so I would probably deflect to somebody else. So for example, this sounds like it might be a little complicated. I want to know from IT, does this sound like we've got the technical bandwidth to handle this? Do you have any thoughts on this? That would be my strategy.
Now, Kelly, excuse me. We didn't ask the people, but I feel very strongly. Everyone on the Zoom call, we'd like you to make a promise. We're teaching you these techniques, but don't let them out. And clearly do not quote us. We're just giving you our experience, but do not quote us. Use them, but they're kind of just for the people who are here. Do you agree with that, Kelly?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, don't quote us. I mean, you can. Kelly Gerstenberg
No, you can't.
Let's deflect
you can't
to IT.
Quote us.
And we've got a lot of activity in the chat. I'm seeing a big mixture.
Okay.
A lot of A's, B's, and C's. A is what I should do. Okay, that's awesome. Love it. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next slide. Okay, and we have another fun trick, and it is simple. And this signals safety to the brain, and it is through gentle eye movements, and it's sometimes called eye yoga. So how this works is if you move your eyes slowly and intentionally, especially side to side, this can engage a neural pathway that helps the amygdala shift out of high alert. But you can do this discreetly. So how this would work is you would pick a spot in the room. And so everybody, let's try this. You want to pick a spot on a wall or on the corner of your monitor, and you're just going to focus on that. And while keeping your eyes in the same, your face in the same direction, you then want to shift to another spot. And then you're going to go back to your initial spot, and you're just sort of going to go back and forth. Now remember, we want to do this a little discreetly, so don't, go crazy with the like eye darting. It's just sort of when you're, if you're nervous and you're having a job interview, for example, or you're being put on the spot, you can just sort of find your focal point, move to another focal point, and then go on. Okay, so everybody, let's try it. Nancy, you're doing it?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so now if you're doing it right, you'll look pensive, and that will make you look smarter. All right, I'm going to move on to the next one. Okay, so an even more discreet trick is to activate your senses. And one way is through touch. So like if you're in a conference room, you might be able to touch the cold metal of a chair. You could just reach down and just touch the cold. Or if you've got a metal water bottle or a canned drink, if you have one, even the condensation from a glass will help because, or even like some sort of fidget. So you just want to touch something and make your brain focus on the senses of what it is that you're feeling. Or if you can make it to the bathroom, you could wash your hands with cold water, and that can help calm your amygdala. And then continuing with activating our senses, we could focus on the sense of taste or smell. And this could be like the aroma of coffee, because there's people always bring in coffee to meetings. Or it could be the peppermint scent or flavor from gum or Tic Tacs. Or if you're wearing perfume on your wrist, you could, kind of focus on that. And sometimes there are bowls of hard candy on someone's desk, and that could be a useful way to calm your amygdala. Or even drink the water from the cold water bottle that you happen to have. Make sure you're bringing something with you to this meeting or this stressful situation so that you can, quickly, you're already planning ahead. So I've got something cold, I've got something I can taste, I've got something I can smell. And the goal is just to focus your attention on something sensory.
Okay, we have another grounding technique, which is the superhero pose. Now, this isn't something you can actually do in a meeting, an in-person meeting, because you'll look ridiculous. In a virtual meeting, you can do this by turning off your camera. And the power posing is really another trick that really works. So how this came about is back in 2010, the first research was published by Amy Cuddy from Harvard. And she widely did a TED Talk about this, and she wrote books about this. And she talked about the power pose. And what you do is you stand tall, you put your hands on your hips, you take a deep breath, and you are literally signaling, I've got this. And I like to count to 5. So I'd like everybody to stand up. Kelly's going to model, and we're going to start. So everybody, put your hands on your hip, feel grounded, your chin is up, breathe deeply, and 1, and we're going to do it twice. 1, and I'll count to 5. So everybody stand up and do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now take a step and see if you don't feel more powerful. Take a step. And Kelly, do you feel more powerful?
I absolutely do. I feel so powerful.
Okay, so remember, you're not going to do it in an in-live meeting. You'll go to the bathroom, but you can do it by turning off your camera.
And if anyone is a fan of Grey's Anatomy, you will remember that Amelia Shepherd frequently uses the superhero pose whenever she's nervous about something. And I'm going to play this for you, and hopefully I remembered to share the sound before I shared my thing. So Nancy, or actually I need you people to, in the chat, tell me if you can or can't hear it.
I can't hear.
I can't either.
We have something in common, Kelly.
I don't know why.
Okay, well, everybody's watching it. We can just watch it without the sound, and you'll watch everybody stand up straight.
So they're just all saying, this is great. Like, look how well this works. I can't believe this. So this is basically it, though. That's the whole point, is that she's about to undergo some, I think she has a brain tumor, so she's about to undergo surgery. And so she makes all of her coworkers, who are her surgeons, which is probably unethical, to do the superhero pose before they begin operating on her. So that's just the scene I wanted to bring to your attention.
Okay.
All right. So now let's say that you get called on to talk, and panic causes your thoughts to get all jumbled, as Deborah was saying that's happening to her. So when you have to speak on the spot, having a structure or framework in mind can keep you from rambling. So we are going to talk about 2 models to make your point memorable. And that is what, so what, now what, and prep.
And before we go into this, I want to talk about rambling. I have to admit, when I get nervous, I do start rambling and I say too many words. I've practiced these things and I'm getting better. And I've heard other people ramble. And when you listen to people who just go on and on, it's really quite annoying. And so I try not to, and I hope these techniques will help you. But let me find out the truth from Kelly. Kelly, do you ever ramble when you get nervous?
Oh, constantly.
No, not
my brain goes faster than my mouth, or my mouth goes faster than my brain, rather. And so I'll just keep talking and talking and talking.
Okay, so these are things we should all practice constantly, but I think I really like them. So this is a framework for clarity, and we call it the what, so what, now what framework. Okay, so, and this is really great for updates and quick explanations. So in the what, you lay out the situation. What's the situation? And that's kind of easy. The so what people don't do, but if they did it, it's really effective. Why does it matter? But when the so what is, how does it really affect the listener? Then they'll really be engaged. And the now what is to recommend what to do next. The lovely thing about this framework, it's very short and succinct. And if you can put all those things in each of the categories, you prepare first, you will be very persuasive and people will listen to you, because they'll listen to you longer if you talk for a less amount of time than a longer amount of time. So I'm going to give you a concrete example. What? We have received 42 stakeholder complaints last month. So what? This signals a service gap, which the listener would hear. And now what? We should review onboarding by Friday. So we've given you the framework. Does anyone have any questions? If you have questions, put the questions in chat.
Well, and also I just want to add to this that, like, to help you remember or organize your thoughts, you can absolutely say the question before you talk. You could go, all right, what is the problem? Well, the problem is that this is happening. We received this many complaints last month. So what do we want to do about it? An idea would be XYZ. Okay, now what are we going to do? I think we should review the process by Friday. So you can just use that framework verbally to help you scaffold what you want to say. So we are going to practice this. So this is something I want you to put it in the chat. We're going to put the sentences in order, depending on, the what, so what, now what framework. So the situation is somebody on your team, and you're just going to put the letters. Someone on your team spends several hours every week manually compiling information to create reports. And you would like to recommend a more efficient process to your supervisor. So we're going to organize by letter. So A, we should identify 2 critical tasks each month and have 2 other team members trained to perform them. B, one person is spending a lot of hours building these reports. C, cross-training would improve continuity and reduce bottlenecks so we can maintain operations during PTO or unexpected absences. Okay, so I want to see letters in the chat. So we need 3 letters in a row so that we know like which one. And if we need to do it one at a time, we can.
We're getting, I love it. I mean, many people are answering, Kelly. This is very helpful and they're getting it. Very smart group.
I love it. I love it when people play, when we're.
Yes.
Okay, we're slowing down. So I'm going to, oh, we got a few more. I want to reveal, do the big reveal. Okay, it would be BCA. So what? One person is spending a lot of time building these reports. C, cross-training would improve and we could maintain operations. A, so we should identify 2 critical tasks each month and have other team members trained to perform them. Okay.
Okay, good, good. I want to thank everybody, and many people got it, and if you didn't, I hope you understand our thought process, and I hope you'll try it. I hope everybody will try it because it really works and it's really effective. Now we're going to give you another framework, and this is called PREP. And what this acronym stands for is point, reason, example, point. And this is great when you need to advocate or persuade, because the key is when you want to persuade, by giving an example, it really helps. So you're going to start with your point. What is your point? You're going to give a reason, a big reason. Then you're going to give an example. And then at the end, you will restate your point. So I'm going to give you an example. Okay. So my point is, we should document actions before entering each meeting. That's my point. The reason is because clear assignments improved accountability and reduced confusion. My example is last week, everyone knew exactly what they were responsible for because we reviewed the action items before we adjourned the meeting. And the point is, so documenting action items will improve follow-through. So again, we do the point. What's the point? What's the reason? What's the example? And we restate the point.
Okay, so we're going to try this for ourselves. We are going to put these sentences in order to match the PREP framework. So we have A, last week's meeting finished early because we followed one. B, agendas keep meetings focused. C, we should start meetings with an agenda. D, let's use an agenda for every meeting. So I want to see letters in the chat. I don't know if everybody's thinking or if nobody's decided to play. Okay, there. Thank you. Thank you, Jewel.
They're coming. That's great. So it's interesting. Different people think at different times. We have a lot of cerebral people. Some people are quick and some people have to think it through, but we're getting lots of people to play, which is wonderful.
Yeah. And the cool thing about these frameworks is, like, let's say you're in a group setting where the eyes aren't directly on you, but you do want to contribute something. You can organize this before you talk. You know, if you have the ability to take some notes so that you are like, okay, I'm going to speak up and I'm going to sound put together like I know what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm going to move to the big reveal. All right, here is our order. C, we should start meetings with an agenda. B, agendas keep meetings focused. A, last week's meeting finished early because we followed one. D, let's use an agenda for every meeting.
Okay, so these are just two examples of frameworks you can use, and they're easy to remember. And you would want to choose your model based on the content. So the what, so what, now what works well for reflections or debriefing, just to kind of give a concise report. And the prep is really great for persuasive arguments or situations because you've given your reason, your example, and what to do next.
Okay, but when you are giving your amazingly organized statement with your framework, it's important to remember that you project presence before you even open your mouth, and you want others to actually listen to what you have to say. And we can convey this authority by how we present ourselves just through our body language. So the first thing is posture. So pay attention to your shoulders. So we naturally kind of roll our shoulders down or inward when we are feeling insecure or unsure or awkward. So instead, we want to keep our shoulders back and our chest open. And next is your level. So you want to match the level of the person you are addressing. So if they're standing, then you want to project authority, then you also need to stand. And conversely, if you're standing and they're sitting, that certainly projects authority, but it can also be intimidating to the other person. And their amygdala might start to panic, and then they won't be able to focus on what you're saying. So if they are sitting, you also need to sit. And that helps you with our next point, which is to maintain eye contact. Nancy, have you ever tried to talk to somebody and their eyes are looking all over the place?
Yes, that happens, unfortunately, too frequently. And I have to say, I personally get offended. It's like if I'm spending the time to talk to a person, I would like them to be totally engaged. And so when you look around, when people are talking directly to you, it's alienating. So I hope everybody will try not to do that.
And there are plenty of cultures where direct eye contact is considered to be rude, or you show respect by avoiding eye contact. That happens. There are some people who just through neurodivergence are unable to make eye contact. So, I mean, certainly read the room and be aware of the person that you're talking to. But if you want to make a good impression as somebody in an American setting, then you want to make an effort to have good eye contact, or at least, intentional when you can. You can make eye contact and then avert when you can, but then make sure to go back. Don't, stand there and be like, oh, who else is here at this party? I don't know. Yeah, I'm not listening to you, right? So there's a little bit of a difference. So finally, you want to focus your speech. You want to focus on your speech and your diction. So you want to speak slowly and clearly so they can understand you. And I don't know about you, Nancy, but I tend to speak way too fast when I'm nervous and flustered. But a measured speaking pace conveys confidence and credibility, and strategic pauses actually increase attention. You see what I did there? So remember, your audience can't absorb information as fast as you can say it.
Okay, and what I would like, if we could go back to that slide, I really like that slide. So I'm afraid to say probably everybody doesn't do this as well as they should. So we would like you to remember this slide: posture, level, eye, speech, and just maybe write that down. So when you're in a meeting, or if you're in a virtual meeting, or you're in an in-person meeting, if you would take that with you to your next meeting, you will come across better, and this would be a really good reminder. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to do an activity with the power pose and the delivery practice. So what I'd like you to do is while sitting, I would like you to practice saying, have good posture and have good eye tact, good level. And we're going to practice together saying, here's what I recommend. And then we're going to do it standing. So let's do it sitting. So let's say you're in a meeting. Let's say you're in a meeting and they're calling on you, Kelly, and we're all going to be Kelly. And we'll all say 1, 2, 3. We'll all practice saying, here is what I recommend. Kelly, what should we do? 1, 2, 3. Here's what I recommend. Let's all try that again. I want to hear the voices. 1, 2, 3, practice. Here's what I recommend. Now what I want everybody to do is stand. Everybody stand. Kelly, can you stand too? That would be great. And I'd like you to get ready. And now everybody, you're going to figure your tone, your pace, your eye contact. And again, with purpose, when I say 3, we're going to say, here's what I recommend. 1, 2, 3.
Here's what I recommend.
Okay, hopefully you were able to say that with power, and that's power, projecting power is very important.
All right, so to recap, you're in a meeting and being put on the spot, and instead of panicking, you could start by clarifying the question or using one of those statements like, let me make sure I understand. And then you want to ground with any of those techniques that we've taught you. And then you are going to respond with a framework. Or if someone catches you off guard by saying, oh, Nancy, what do you think?
What I could do,
buy some time by saying, that's a good question. I want to make sure I give you a thoughtful answer. Is it okay if I get back to you after the meeting? And that is going to buy time or help you refocus. And if you have a lot to say, but if you're feeling flustered and you want to make sure that you convey your point professionally, then you want to apply a framework. Over to you, Nancy.
Okay, well, I want to go back to the biggest mistake I made in my career. The biggest mistake I made to my career is I'm a pleaser. And somebody asked me a question and they wanted the answer right now. They put me on the spot and they said, what do you think? And because I'm a pleaser, I gave them what I thought at the time. Evidently, what I thought at the time was not correct. Once I realized my mistake, I corrected it, but it wasn't okay. So now, after that bad experience, I always said, that's a good question. I want to make sure I give you a thoughtful answer. I'd like to do research. I want to get it right. Would you mind if I got back to you tomorrow with an email, or I talked to you tomorrow, called you? I would never, after that bad incident, I would never shoot from the hip, because nobody remembers that you weren't given any time. They will only remember your answer. So the lesson I'd like to convey is don't push back. When someone gives you an assignment that's impossible to do, say, I will need a few more days, or I'll give you a draft and I will give you a better version, a complete version tomorrow. But what you say lasts, people remember, and what you document lasts forever. So push back, because weeks later or years later, it won't matter that you gave wrong information. The wrong information sticks around. The other thing is that you want to apply the framework. So the framework really works. And so if you practice the framework a lot, you'll be able to come up with the framework. What, now what is not so difficult, or the prep is not so difficult. And that will make you sound very organized. Okay, so let me demonstrate right now. I get called on automatically, and they say, what should we do about this? And what should we do about the budget? And I might say, I think we need to cut costs. Our budget is being slashed and the staff is still under too much pressure, and finding a new vendor would help reduce expenses and make everyone feel more important. I just did the what, so what, now what? I think we need to cut costs. So what? Our budget is being slashed and the staff is under too much pressure. Now what? Finding a new vendor would help reduce expenses and make everyone feel more at ease. Okay, so now we've taught you a lot about strategies today that are going to help you appear poised even when you're feeling panic. And what you have to remember is you don't have to feel confident to sound confident. Confidence is a side effect of preparation and practice, and you don't have to wait for it. You can act your way into it, and people will see you as being confident, and then you will be confident. Also, I'd like to remind you that clarity is a skill that you can build. So use one of our templates and you will be clear.
Okay, so before we wrap up, we're going to go back to that Mentimeter poll again, and we're just going to see if we have any changes, and we can share that later. And there was a question in the chat about the slides, so I will be able to share those with our TOC friends, and then they can distribute those. And I can also share some of our metrics that we've gathered from our post slide, or our post test. So make sure you do that. So as a counselor, the thing that we do is a pre-test and a post test, and just to see if there's been any change. And so what we're looking to see is if your self-efficacy has changed, where you feel a little bit more confident in your ability to apply strategies. So let's and as training officers, we all know about measuring. So this is an effort at getting some metrics. So we're going to give you a few minutes, well, a minute or two to go in, because it's not that big of a poll. And while you are doing that, we are going to open for any questions. So feel free to come off mute, or you can put it in the chat if you have any questions. Happy to talk. Or anybody wanting to share with what resonated with them, or what you're walking away with, or what's something that you might be likely to apply. So this is sort of like an exit ticket. We want to know what's sticking with you. Okay, Deborah has raised her hand. Do you want to put it in the chat, or do you want to come off mute?
Hi, I'll come off mute. How are you?
Hi.
I really appreciate what Nancy said, because I live that every month. We brief our directors and VPs. I know that sounds weird, but we're a strange organization. But anyway, putting things in writing, I think that is what I need to do, is to say, look, I'm going to take your question, go back, research everything, and provide it to you and everybody on the call. Something like that. Instead of trying to answer, because it is complicated. It's cybersecurity stuff, so it's complicated.
And thank you, Deborah. I can't tell everybody how strongly I feel about it. I started as a prosecutor, and as a prosecutor and also as a defense lawyer, what I did, I don't do that anymore. Now I teach people not to do that, is I would take things that people wrote, maybe in haste, maybe for whatever. They wrote it quickly, and you don't get to say you read it quickly. So I really, if you would take that lesson back, even though people are pleasers, you want to give it to people, don't be a pleaser in that situation, because if you get sued, if it gets leaked to the press, you don't get to answer what you write or what you say. It's over. So please, everybody, push back. The other thing that Kelly had asked us to do, and it'd be wonderful, we're very into applications. So Deborah, thank you so much for being the first one to talk. We'd like to hear from as many as possible what you will take away. And if you could kind of practice being powerful and showing us your confidence, that would be a very good thing. So can we have more people raising their hand and telling us what they're going to take away? It's pretty scary to do that, but we believe in you. Okay.
And while we're doing that, so Amy said that she appreciated the reminder about good posture because it helps with breathing and maintaining breath. And that is absolutely true, because remember I told you about this vagus nerve. And so if you're nervous and you're just naturally going to shrink into yourself. That's what happens when you feel nervous. And then your mind isn't able to think. But the good posture helps you get those deeper breaths so that you can maintain your composure. And then we have another person saying, I like the on-the-spot techniques that were discussed. So thank you for weighing in, Sarah. Anyone else want to come off mute or raise their hand or weigh in?
And you all are trainers. That's why you're here. So we think that you can talk. We're going to encourage you to talk.
And I don't know if I'm getting feedback because I keep being muted. But anyway, we've put a Survey Monkey in the chat. And this is different from the little post test. The post test was just about the content. So, or just about the things that we were talking about. The Survey Monkey is for us to see, to help us improve our presentation and all of that. Carla is saying requesting to restate or asking others to weigh in. Okay, that's what Carla's taking away with her. Thank you for weighing in on that.
Okay, and I'll make a deal. I will make a deal with people. Again, what I do now is I have all these different soft skills, and I've written some interesting articles. So if you fill out the Survey Monkey, and you put your name, you're typing. A lot of times people print, but we're typing. If you type your name and email address, I can send you a link to my website, which has several articles about how to write better, how to speak slowly, how to be heard at a meeting. So I give that to you. And Haley, we have some more chat. Ellen has written something. Has written something. You want to read what Ellen wrote?
So Ellen has shared pausing before speaking, whether it is in a meeting or making a presentation, and pausing for 10 seconds is critical for getting total control of yourself before you open your mouth and speak inappropriately. Love that. Yes, thank you for weighing in. All right, Joy, over to you.
Thank you. I want to thank everyone for joining us today, and we're not done yet. So as Nancy and Kelly alluded to, we have that Survey Monkey for Kelly and Nancy. So please take a moment, click on that link, answer those questions. And as Nancy said, she's going to give you gifts if you leave your email address as well. So as a reminder, one of the things that we thank Kelly and Nancy for joining us today. They showcased last year at TOC 2025. And we're always happy to have them come back because we love to hear the content everyone across academia and institutions are able to provide to us and share out of their own time and effort, bring that to our community. So we love this. With that being said, talking about TOC 25, TOC 26, I have a short little 1-minute video that our TOC chair wanted me to share with everyone. So as I play this, please let me know if you can hear it. And then I'm going to ask for volunteers because we're always looking for people to help the TOC community because TOC is an all volunteer organization. So we are not able to put on the items we do without the people willing to take some time and effort to support this. So let me know if you can hear the video.
No.
No sound. Stand by one.
You might need to turn off your share and then click share again, and then make sure you choose the option for share
Sound
audio.
too. Yeah, I thought I clicked that. I didn't click it hard enough. Stand by.
Yeah, so we are really, really excited. And thank you, Joy, earlier for talking about the TOC 26 Summit. It's going to happen in Philadelphia. And Philadelphia is definitely the place to be this year. And for anyone who was wondering why Philly, what's Philly all about, wait till you see this 1-minute video. I think you will be super stoked to sign up and attend the summit, and also hang out and see and do all that Philly has to offer. By show of hands, or maybe just some thumbs up, did anyone travel up to Philly to see any of the FIFA World Cup games? I know the tickets were expensive, but I think there are probably some soccer fans on this call. Anybody go? No thumbs up? Well, you missed it.
1 minute. 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 1 min
In a world where you can travel anywhere, one city stands out during the nation's 250th birthday year, and it's the place that started it all. Philadelphia. CNN named it one of the best places to visit in 2026. The BBC said it's a city brimming with history, creativity, and pride. Travel and Leisure called its dining scene electric. The New York Times, National Geographic, The Wall Street Journal, and so many others agreed. Philly is the place to visit in 2026. And this year, 250 years after our country's founding, it's still making history. It's the city where our nation was born. So the question is, what are you waiting for? Book your stay now at visitphilly.com.
Yep, that's the question. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for to register for the TOC 26 Summit? Any questions about the summit and any questions about Philadelphia or anything like that? I'm here to answer them while we still have a few minutes left.
We actually have like 30 minutes left. We end today at 12:30. So if anyone has any questions about the summit, about TOC, please do let us know. And if you have not been to our Training Officers Consortium website, let me share my screen again.
Joy, did you happen to upload the flyer into the chat earlier?
Not the flyer, no. If you have it, please feel free to upload it. I don't think I have the flyer.
Alrighty.
For those of you that have not been to the site, once you go to the site and you're on the, you'll be able to see up top here, Annual Summit is listed right here at the very top. And that'll give you a lot of information as to what we have going on, the information on each of the speakers, as well as what sessions are going to be taking place. Please take advantage of that. A lot of information is up there. Our mission, what we do, our program year, joining TOC, what content is available to you guys without registering. And once you do register, you're going to get your own login and create your own password, and you'll be able to get to this site as well where you gain additional information. And we do also ask for you to be able to volunteer if you have time available. We do have a number of positions available, especially our CIO. So Amy right now is dual hatted as our Chief Information Officer, as well as our TOC, as our chair for the TOC, as our president. So please, if you have time available, if you want to get more involved with what we do within TOC, if you want to learn more about the background of information on what we do within on the board, as well as positions we have that support the board, please go onto the website and look at those items that we have available. Additionally, especially if you're going to be going to the summit, if you want to help the summit committee and get on board with Gary, who's leading our summit, and Sonia Pons, who's also our co-chair for the summit, please reach out to them. Reach out to info at TOC Training Officers Consortium .org, and we'll be able to get that information to you. Jump into our webpage, and we really like having more people involved to help us continue to build this community for us.
Joy, not very many people have filled out our survey. Can we, I put the link in chat.
Yes,
Can you give us another, since we have some more time, can you urge everybody to fill out the survey?
Oh yeah, please. So Nancy put the survey right there. It's only 3 short questions to fill out the survey. So it should only take you about 5 minutes or so. For those, I think the word Nancy used earlier was, if you're more cerebral, it may take you a little bit longer than that to really put your comments and your ideas and thoughts down on that. So please take advantage of that if you could.
And it really only takes 90 seconds. So I want 90 seconds from people, if that's okay.
All right, does anyone else from the TOC committees, boards, or the volunteers want to add anything to that, to TOC in general, or about today's session with Kelly and with Nancy?
And actually, I can share our pre-test and post-test if we would like from the Mentimeter. Like if you want me to share my screen again.
Oh, please.
That would be great.
All right. So, and I've also, I can put the slides in the chat as well if somebody wants to grab it. Okay, so from our pre-test, this is sort of what our metrics were. I don't know if I can make this bigger. No.
And you're not, there we go.
Okay, so we were at 3.7, 3.7, 3.3, 3.8. For our post-test, this is how our results look.
Great.
4.3, 4.2, 4.5, 4.6. So overall, fabulous.
And I love that you're using Mentimeter. So for individuals that haven't used it before and you are in a position where you need to present, Mentimeter is free and you get 2 surveys that are free right off the bat, and then there's the paid subscription. But it's a great tool to use, as you know, Kelly showcased rather clearly, as you know, pre-test and post-test if you're only doing the 2.
And the slides are now as a file in the chat.
Fabulous. All right, any lasting questions, comments, feedback?
Nancy wanted our email. Is that true?
If you put the email in the survey, at the end of the survey, I will send you some articles on soft skills.
Thank
So hopefully
you.
you'll fill out the survey. And thank you for asking that question.
And
I will say, Nancy, one of the things that,
oh, sorry, go ahead, Joy.
I was going to say, one of the things that in our agency we shifted our vocabulary when it comes to soft skills, and we've started calling them essential skills.
Okay.
Because they're not just soft skills; they are actually essential to how you operate within your organizations and what's needed across the board to operate effectively.
I love that, Joy. I keep on trying to think of other ways to describe what I do. So people have said business skills or power skills. So since you are an expert, which would you prefer? And I'll ask Kelly too. Do you like power skills, business skills, or soft skills, or essential skills? Which one would you pick? Joy.
I'm liking essential.
I'm sorry?
This is Kelly. I'm liking essential.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a fan of essential because power and business. So business is focused on here's skills across business.
Okay.
Power is here's skills that provide me power or help me feel more powerful or can help me encourage and empower power with others. Whereas essential kind of covers all of them. It's like an umbrella.
Thank you. We'll always get everybody. We will learn from everybody. So that's very helpful.
Okay.
Enjoy. I did put the booking link for Philly, the TOC booking link. If you're interested in going to Philly, you haven't registered yet, or if you're registered and you don't have your room, we did put the booking link there. So go ahead and book your reservation, and we look forward to seeing you.
And if you did book but did not use the booking link, please feel free, and I encourage you to reach out to the hotel and let them know, hey, we're going to be attending TOC Summit. And that way we can connect your booking to TOC as well.
Okay, well, I want to thank TOC for allowing us to deliver this presentation, and I think the attendees were great. What do you think? Kelly? Closing words from you.
Oh yes, thank you very much for having us. We enjoyed presenting.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. Well, thank you so much. You guys got